So fast. The weeks are going by so fast. It's absolutely insane, DJ. And here we are, another week of wins and losses here on Y'all Sales Chatter. Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
As that was going, I'm giggling to myself because I'm like, am I going to call DJ out today, or am I going to leave it alone?
Oh, here we go.
I think there's a lot of wins by sharing the story. But is it okay if I share the story?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So for all y'all watching and listen, welcome. By the way, we have a meeting set again, and I know I harassed DJ about this before, but DJ shows 25 minutes late for the meeting, and DJ and I have a conversation after, and I said, brother, like the one thing that frustrates me is people not being on time. And he goes, dude, me too. I start laughing. I'm like, dude, you haven't shown up to one meeting on time. He goes, no, listen, this is what happened. And it's funny because, I mean, I think we all face this, DJ, and I think this is a good wins-loss moment.
Absolutely.
To really understand what happens in our daily lives and how we as salespeople can actually get behind so many times in a day.
Yep.
DJ had something going on with needed a truck, needed to get some stuff moved from A to B with a U-Haul and da-da. And it's funny because as DJ's explaining it to me this morning, just 20 minutes ago, I said, doesn't that in your head as you're saying it kind of like sounds like an excuse, but it's reality. And then I shared with him a story where I actually had to move a meeting by almost an hour because I'm sitting there calculating, okay, it's 20-minute drive. I'm 10 minutes in there. It's a 20-minute drive home. It's probably more like a 27-minute drive. So I lost 14 minutes. And some of you might say 14 minutes, but when you're trying to be at a meeting at a specific time, 14 minutes is like,
oh gosh,
that's an extra coffee, or that's a get in, take your coat off, get the chill
off. That's what you should be ready.
Like that's some pretty serious time. And we're talking about it and realize everything seems to take longer these days. And I can say where we are in Ontario, we're like still at a 50% capacity. And it's like, I pull up to a store and I don't see a line outside. And I'm thinking, okay, we're golden. Yeah. Not realizing they're down half the registers.
Exactly.
More people are going into the self-checkout. So everything just seems to take longer. And I was saying, because I'm in a rush, I'm grabbing all this stuff at Canadian Tire and I get out to the car and I realize, oh my God, I forgot the 14-inch cutoff blade. I can't go further on my sled deck build without it. So now I got to go back in and start the process over again. And then there's, all these other anomalies that come into play. I got stuck behind a snowplow. So now I'm like, doing 30K the whole way home when I would normally do 70. My 20-minute, that's really a 27-minute drive turns into a 35-minute drive. So there's all these things that add up. So win is realizing that probably give yourself extra time. Loss, DJ didn't show up for meetings.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That is right. Thanks. No, it still went good, and I got my truck. I got everything out, so it all was a victory in the end. But
and the meeting went good.
And the meeting went really good. Yeah. Actually, so.
I covered from a man. I had my man's back. Right?
I got my PIC.
I got my PIC exactly.
Morning, Jeff.
FH, but I got my PIC. Morning, Jeff.
Oh man,
Jeff's in my mind, Jeff's the originator.
I can't believe it's the 21st already. The month's almost over.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
It's crazy.
But it's been fun.
It's
first month of doing this has been fun.
It's been an absolute blast doing this every morning, and I'm so excited to see what the year holds. I'm so excited for the new format. Big win this week for us guys as
let's break it down.
A new company, a new structure and stuff happening inside High Performance Logistics Sales and with the presentation of Sales Chatter is we DJ and I actually are Have you ever, okay, let me ask you this actually first. So just, to yourselves or even throw in the chat if you're watching live. Have you ever had an idea and you go and implement it, and then as you implement it, you have more and more ideas to hone it in, make it better, and really like solidify what it is you want to deliver? And
Yeah,
that's been this last month for DJ and I.
absolutely.
As you guys know, we started, what I think end of October or beginning of October, I think we
I
started
think it
Sales
was.
Chatter.
Yeah.
So we're doing 3 days a week, just kind of really having fun with it. We decided, you know what, in the new year, let's help sales reps.
Dan, I think technically, like the first 2 weeks, we did like 2 days a week, and then we're like, hold on,
That's right.
what if we
That's
go
right. We
three?
did.
Yeah, so I think
And then
we
and then
even
we went to
shifted.
3, and then we
Yeah.
went to 5, and then, hey, hell, who knows? Maybe later this year we'll go to 2 times a day. I don't know.
Oh
But
gosh,
I don't think
don't get
everybody
crazy.
wants to see our ugly mugs twice a day,
Yeah,
but
I don't think anybody
here
does.
so, as we're going through this, we're solidifying certain parts of it, right? So from 45 minutes to an hour down to 30 minutes, and trying
Yeah.
to really keep it in 30 minutes because that consumption rate is kind of that 30-minute mark. The rate for y'all to listen and to deliver something powerful. I often refer to it like this, DJ, when I'm explaining it to somebody. I said, if you go to the gym, your natural testosterone is about 45 minutes. So
Mm.
if you're at the gym for 3 hours, you're talking, you're not exercising, right? And it doesn't do you any good to be at a gym for 3 hours. You can go into a gym, do a massive like killer circuit training, get more done in less time, and
Yeah,
leave. And when we look at sales, that's what the goal is, right? More done in
that's
less time.
that
So
is a
as
goal.
DJ and I are going through this month, a big win for us, big
Yeah,
win, is we've come up with what we think is an ironclad format. And I say that what we think is
it
because,
could always
hey, it might
transition.
change, right? So
Yeah,
we've got
absolutely.
Mayhem Monday, where pretty cool. We picked the topic on air for y'all. Tuesday, we're going to be bringing in clients. So every Tuesday, we're looking at bringing clients with a different perspective. Like we had John Brewer on this week, a different idea, different strategy, kind of helping you, the professional sales rep, start to hear what certain people think and what they're looking for. And we'll talk about freight spend. So you'll see the difference in mindset between somebody at 20 million and someone at 200,000. Then Wednesdays is we're like super stoked that Dean's coming in
Ah, I
every
can't believe it.
Wednesday for
I
us.
cannot believe it.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then Thursdays going to be a guest that has tools, strategies, frameworks, best-selling authors, this kind of thing in sales. So it'll be not just us talking about sales strategy on Mondays or us talking about wins and losses on Friday that it is incorporated with sales strategy, but we're going to bring you different perspectives from people outside the industry, people inside the industry. So, for example, we've got Joe Lynch coming up from the logistics of logistics, an
Yes.
icon in the industry. We got Andy Harris coming in, 3 times New York Times best-selling author. We've got Brian Biro coming, America's breakthrough coach. We're bringing in Rico Rakoski again to
Rico.
talk. Like we're going to bring in people that give us, both personal and professional development, as well as, productivity, stickability strategy, sales strategy. So
Yes, sir.
that format for us, we just solidified that this week. And you would think, DJ,
We got to
like,
give a shout out. We got to give a shout out to Dean though. Dean really did kind of help us. Like, okay, if Dean's coming on Wednesdays, bam, this is what we're doing, and that was
yeah.
where like that was like the final. It's
And
crazy.
it's funny. And here's one thing that I haven't stopped thinking about from that moment. It was never a how do we get Dean on every week?
No.
Like we just delivered value. Afterwards, we were having a conversation, and it was just Dean, it'd be really cool to have you on, once a month. And Dean said, well, what about like weekly? And we are like, yeah, we could do that 100%. He goes, and then that way, and he made sense with it, right,
He
DJ?
did.
Like
He did.
when Dean was talking about it, he goes, because that way we can follow the data. He goes, so there's no gaps. Like weekly, we can follow the data and we could talk
Yeah.
about what's happening and how it's trending and how it's doing this. And I think that's remarkable. Like just to
Absolutely.
have a man of that caliber, like for all of you that don't really dive into Dean, I mean, this man is one of the foremost market experts in our world. Like he looks at it, and it's not just the data he looks at, It's the way Dean interprets it.
Exactly.
So the wins that we can talk about I mean, hell, the last 2 weeks, the wins are
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
And the
Oh
question
yeah.
becomes, when you just deliver value, like, yes, sure, we have programs that are for sale. We have training courses that are yeah, of course. I mean, everybody has something to sell. You as a professional sales rep have something to sell.
Of
But
course.
when you focus just on value, we've got a member of our inner circle, and Ryan is crushing it, but Ryan is looking at value. How do I add value? And let me try this. And he's had some awesome wins because he tried it.
Yeah.
Right. And this
Yeah.
is the thing is we try it. It doesn't work. We retool. We try it again. It doesn't work, or it works. We
That's right.
take the pieces that work. I mean, this is what we talk about all the time, DJ, when we talk about books, right?
That's
You
it.
read a
Yeah.
book, it's not verbatim. No book is verbatim for every single person. Otherwise, you need to
Oh.
read one
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
and you'd
You'd
be a
read one book and
multimillionaire.
have all the tricks. It does.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. You
It
would.
doesn't work.
And we don't. We
No.
grab a piece of it and we mull it over, and we do. Bob Proctor taught me this 2 decades ago. He says, Dan, you look at a piece of information, you mull it over and you go, will it help or will it hurt?
Mm.
Like, will this piece of information, is it solid? Did I check my resources? Da, da, da. So
Yeah.
that's the idea before you implement anything. But you're like, okay, hey, what do I got to lose? And, just like with Ryan, perfect example for Ryan this week, I tried it and it worked, and it was like an instantaneous thing. That is a bigger win than landing a customer, because now you've got a tool and strategy that can
Absolutely.
that can assist you in helping many more customers achieve their goals. Right.
Definitely.
And to me, DJ, I look at that and I'm like, these are wins all over. And it's a win for me because we're associated with him. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and,
No.
and I,
I.
I think of it in that manner where, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang around with most. And if you're hanging
Right.
around or you're associating with winners, you're going to get winning philosophies. And Ryan, if you're watching and listening, y'all owe me that script, brother. Oh, Ryan is watching. He's here. He's here. He says,
He's
"Bring
it.
in the Rock." Oh, dude, I would
Oh.
bring in the Rock.
Oh man.
And
And
you
Ryan,
know
I'm
what?
glad you threw that out there. Anybody who is watching, especially for clients, if you have a client that you've been going after and you want to like throw them, put them on this hotspot, we'll get them on Tuesday. Throw their name out there. Suggestions.
Yeah,
Uh,
even DM DJ or I.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Send it
you
to us.
probably don't want to put it out in the live chat because then,
Yeah, you
and it's
probably don't
funny.
want to do that,
So
but
I'm
send
talking
it to
to
us.
I'm talking to a customer that was on our show, and he's giggling. He says, Dad, he goes, because I said, hey, would you mind coming on the show again? I'd like an update, on kind of where your status was. And I said, maybe in February you give us an update. He goes, yeah, no problem. He goes, dude, when I was on your show, I had to walk away from my phone and email for the next 3 days. He goes, because so many people started calling me.
Oops.
So, he says it's going to be, he says it's funny. So I'm interested to talk to John and see how many people have connected with John, because you had Sabrina that
Oh,
was like
okay.
all over him on the thing, right? And
I
or
love it. I love
Trina,
it.
Trisha, I think,
Trisha,
not Sabrina. I think it
Trisha.
was
It
Trisha.
was Trisha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was all over him on the podcast. But so that's a big win for us this week.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say big loss. I had, and I guess here's the question: is it really a loss, or is it matter of we're not congruent? There was one individual that I was really hoping would be on the podcast because his product, I think, is very cool in the sales world. Sent him a message, kind of did the whole personal thing and said, I, really, really, and all I got back was not even interested. And I was like, oh, that stings. Because, and it does, it stings for me, DJ, because I believe in this show.
It
I
does. Yeah.
believe in the conversations we have every day. I believe in how we
Yes,
bring
sir.
information and value to the market. And it's not like I'm selling them anything. Like, it's just like, I think your product's pretty cool. I'd like to learn more about it, and I'd like to share it with our audience. And it was the way that the CEO came back. was like,
Yeah.
not it literally not even
Yeah.
interested. That's all it said. Then the message, and declined my in mail. And I was like, dude, at least accept the in mail so I could send it to somebody else. So
Yeah.
for all of you on LinkedIn that receive in mails, just accept the damn in mail. So that, say I'm not interested, but I'll accept your in mail so you can send a message to somebody else that might be interested. But
Oh, that's so funny.
but for me, that was a loss because I really think this tool could have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't use it, so I don't. I want. I wanted to hear more about it. Kind of like when Hans was on about Line.
Yes.
I'm in the process of using it, and I'll be able to talk more in depth on it. This particular software, I hadn't used it yet, so I don't want to bring it up because I don't know if it'd be any good. Like that's what I was trying to explore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We've
but
got we got a few of those going on right now. But yeah.
yeah, okay. So you share now because I've
Yeah,
shared
yeah.
for
So,
15,
so loss,
16 minutes here.
obviously, being late, it really is a pet peeve of mine. So I hate being late. I tried to do everything so early. I'm like you. I try to plan it out. Like, okay, I got 2 hours. Da da da. It didn't work. It
Yeah.
clearly didn't work this time. But
Oh,
I
I
was
know.
under the
I
crunch.
know it didn't work.
Uh, but big victory. With that loss, it did come with the loss. Ended that the flow resale journey a little bit. So got rid of kind of my debacle there and picks just picking up the pieces. But the big win was really what's to come. Had an amazing meeting on Wednesday, and yeah, I'm excited for the future. So
That's good. That's
yeah.
good. And are you going to share what that was all about or no? Too
I don't
early?
know. I don't. I think it's too early. I
Yeah.
think I can't
No,
share
and that's
yet.
you know what?
Yeah, yeah. I
Fully
think it's too early.
understandable.
I can't
It's
share,
like
but it is. It's life changing. It is life changing.
when John was on, he when we were doing our prep call for John this week, he goes, "I got some secret sauces I can't share." He says so, and it's funny because he says, "Dan, I was on an interview and probably about 10 questions in a row, I specifically said like you can't ask questions about this just because." From a company that size, there's some stuff that you can't obviously just go out and
Of
blast
course. Yeah,
into
yeah.
the stratosphere. Um, and he says, the person asked me like 7, 8 questions in a row. And he goes, I had to just say, you know what? Like, I got to end this interview now because you're obviously not getting the point. And, it's true, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
matter of, us as individuals, honoring where we're at. And not so
Yes, sir.
much, some people might say, well, talk about it because, if you fail, then it's going to be embarrassing. And it's like, no, like
No, I put it out
every
there.
failure, in my opinion, is like
The best thing to
gold.
do. The best thing to do is talk about it because
100%.
you put yourself more on the hook, and it makes it more real. Then, and you
Hmm.
have to go for it. Then it's
Hmm.
not just. I think if we really, as people, just think about how many times we think of these ideas, and they sound so great, so amazing, and we just think about them. We never talk about it to anybody. We never say anything because we're so scared. We're like, how are we even going to do this? But I mean, those are the things. Actually, one of the quotes that I kind of picked was about that. I'll say it. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then we summon the will, they become inevitable. And that's the truth. When your dreams, when you really bind to, that's actually the Wednesday meeting. That is my, it's, that's how big it is. It's, yeah, it's a dream. And it's about to be real. And so it's crazy. It's really crazy, but yeah,
And that's awesome,
and
brother. That is
it
awesome.
seemed
Like
impossible.
beyond
It did
awesome.
seem impossible. So
And it's you're not going to sleep Tuesday, I guarantee it. Which is yeah, Jeff's totally right. A loss is
Jeff,
really a win
yes, Jeff, yeah,
when you look at it. Gary says, "I hate when they don't accept your email." I know, brother. I know. It's like just I get it if you're not interested. Just say not interested. Accept the email so we
yeah.
can move on, right?
Come
But
on, be
you're
nice.
right. All losses, and this is this to me is the core nucleus of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yes.
Like when we look at 5 feet from gold, right? You know, there's so many different stories, and Napoleon Hill talks about 5 feet from gold, where you know these brothers buy equipment and all this kind of stuff, and they stop 5 feet short of one of the richest gold veins ever found in that area. And you know, they actually took that loss and went on
Yeah.
to do really well for themselves
Yeah.
because that lesson
They
paid
learn.
more than
Yes.
that gold vein would have been. And you know, I once heard a comment, and it was the gentleman that I moved from Quebec to Ontario with, and we were talking one day, and he says, Dan, there's a reason 18-year-olds don't have 3-car garage homes. And he says, like, you know, you did well for yourself at 18. You bought your first home at 18. He goes, but it wasn't a mansion with 3-car garage. He
Mm,
says, you gotta fail to understand the value
mm,
of who you are, number one, what you bring to the table, number two, and what you can accomplish for people to help them figure out who they are, what they bring. And it's just like congruent. It's this consistent. And I often put it like the rings in a tree. You
yeah.
know, as the tree grows,
Years. Yeah. Yeah.
those rings get bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. And you can always tell the age of a tree by the rings, right?
Exactly.
And us, if it were just so easy and we would just, you know, we'd just get everything and we'd make one sales call and it would be a yes every time.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody would do it too.
well,
Everybody
but
would do
here's the
it.
thing. Some people would say, oh, that'd be great. But I think in the end, it'd be like, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
need, and
we
not
need
that we
challenge. We
need
need.
friction, because I don't think we, nobody really wakes up in the morning and go, I can't wait to see what gets screwed up for me today so I can learn something. But I,
We.
I, I, I I think it's that, like, if we take every challenge,
Mm,
obstacle, like speed bump, and we say, okay, like what did I learn? Like, what was the benefit? I can't help myself grow
and I think
personally
you.
and professionally.
I think you just broke down and touched it on such a good way. You called it a challenge instead of a loss. If we just look at it as that, and then what do we learn from it? That's the biggest thing. So back to Jeff's comment of a loss is really a win when you look at it. It always ends up being a win when you look at it because you learn something from it,
Mhm.
and as long as you learn something from it, you progress from it. Progression is. I was listening to Tony Robbins. It was crazy. He was just on. He has some big thing. Shout out to anybody watching this. I know Tony. Tony, if you see this, dude. The 25th, he's having some amazing free live event. Uh, he had like 800 some thousand people on that last time. That's why he's doing it one more time, but it's amazing. So shout out to Tony. Tony really has changed my life. That's why I'm giving a
Oh,
shout
he's
out.
awesome. He's awesome.
He's amazing.
Ryan says, what helped me with the losses is to detach from the outcome. I did my best, whether it be a call, video, email, etc. I don't control their reaction.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan, it's funny you say that, because one of the things that, you know, as a trainer or coach, all of you that are in our community know we're consistently asking, like, what keeps you up at night?
Mm,
What can, because we're looking to create the next program, and the next program has to help our community. And
absolutely.
I still remember Ryan's answer, DJ. He says, nothing. I said, what do you mean nothing? He goes, Dan, I do everything in my power during the day to push my career as far forward as I can. I can't control the, like he just said, I
Can't
can't control
control.
the outcomes. So I put my head down on my pillow at night knowing I've done my best today to make the best out of every situation that I
And that's the
encounter.
key. That's the
And I
key.
think that is gold, like gold, you know. And Ryan just pretty much said it again here. He said, if I have
Yeah.
$5 and a watch, if I found and a watch was $2, I'd struggle. But if I had $100, I'd buy that watch in an instant. Do more prospecting, get you more chances, and not hung up on the one that didn't reply. 100%.
Yeah.
So are you trying to say that I'm not doing enough prospecting, Ryan? That
He's,
Jeff says, amen, Dan. Absolutely, brother. You know, so I think Ryan just called me out there and said I'm not
I
doing
think you
enough
did.
prospecting, but I got hung up on the
You
guy that
skipped
said
You
no.
skipped Brian's comment, by the way. Brian
Oh,
Snutter.
Brian, shit, sorry, brother. Freight, hey, Freight Sensei. Freight trains don't stop for barking dog. Freight Fridays, baby, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Ryan says laugh out loud. Definitely not. Sorry, man. I had to call you out there. I had to call
No,
you out there. Yeah.
you
So,
like calling people out. No, just
so like this is. I think it's a great topic, and I know we
yeah,
talked about failure just a couple of days ago, right? But this is about wins and failures, and I believe that as individuals, we have to look at our successes just as much as we look at our failures.
yes,
And I don't think we do. Some people will look at their failures and not really pay attention to their successes. Some people will do the vice versa. But I really think that both of them combined gives us the overall full perspective of what we do, how we do it, why we do it. Like for all of you that have never done a 7-level deep exercise, um it's one of the greatest exercises you can ever do. And it's
yeah,
for lack of a better term, it's you think about your big goal, that big dream, and it says, why do you want that dream? And you say that, and it says why, and you answer that, and it says why, and you answer why 7 times.
yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, that's easy. And literally, by the time you hit 7, like, you've cried, your heart's fluttered, you've pulled your hair out, you've said I don't know a million times, and it forces you to dive 7 levels deep into your why.
Mm,
And when you figure that out, that one thing can seriously change your life. And I don't mean this in any kind of
yes, sir.
Pollyanna way.
No,
It could change your life in the fact that, like Ryan said, I know when I try my best, I put my head down on the pillow at night. If I'm prospecting and I prospect enough, the one who says no doesn't matter. Like, these are things that, and you see that perspective,
yeah,
it's like it
yeah,
totally changes the outcome of
absolutely.
your output. So
Yeah,
whatever it is, if it's sales, if you're in operations and you're listening to this, you're more in sales than any salesperson will ever be. So
yeah.
understand that for the get go.
That's like
You know,
John. That's like John from Tuesday. I said he must have a sales background. This guy's amazing.
100%. And Ryan said, so Ryan's done it. He says, one of the hardest assignments I've ever done. It was life changing. And it really
Yeah,
is.
it
It
is.
really, really is. When you go 7 levels deep, I mean, it is, it is insane. At the end, you just go, and
Yeah.
it feels like you just went 2 rounds with Tyson, but it feels so good. Like have you ever, it's kind of like what we
Yeah, yeah,
so when I my YouTube video this week was about reverse engineered logistics, because I love the conversation we had. So I said, I'm just going to
yeah.
make it this week's.
I seen that. It was
And
good.
I and part of the inception call on Wednesday was talking about being a guide, not a leader. And what I mean by that
I love that.
is,
Really.
as a guide, you're Yoda. Luke Skywalker is the hero, right? If you look at
Yep.
Star
Yeah.
Wars as a movie, Luke
Yep.
Skywalker is the hero,
Yep.
Yoda's the guide.
Yoda's the
And I
guide.
and I, and I said it like this. I said, think of it like this. If you go to climb Everest, you get a Sherpa. You get a guide to help you climb Everest.
Yeah.
But when you get up to the top of Everest, the guide doesn't go, yeah, I made it, yeah. Like, you go to the top of Everest, and if you make it to the top, you
Yeah.
stand on the top exhausted from the effort to get there, but you are more energized than you've ever been. And how did you get there? You got there from the guide that said, this is the best route. Step here, step here, step here. But the guide doesn't stand up there and say, no, 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 you guys all go down here. I'm the man. I got you here. They just kind of stand back and let you soak in that moment. And that is how I believe we as sales reps need to be for our customers. When you get in your car, DJ, you plug in a destination, your GPS is the guide to get you there. But when you get there, you don't go, whoa, GPS, you the man, buddy. Your GPS doesn't go, I am the man. I rock. You could not have done this without me. Like, your GPS doesn't do that. But so this is the process
That's right.
that allows us to achieve more for our customers, right? And man, it's just, for me, it's like, as we keep talking about that, it's just like, yes, yes, yes. And it's, I don't know, I geek out on that stuff.
I love even that idea of what you're talking about with the leader versus guide. I mean, even take it up to the next level to management and higher. I mean, instead of leading by example, I think the guide mentality that you just brought up, man, that just it's literally so a guide is showing you the direction, but a guide is also usually, especially using your Mount Everest, is sometimes reaching back to help you along as
Yep.
well. And
Hmm.
that's what a leader really needs to be. That's
Hmm.
what if we just had more leaders in this industry, and more
And
things
I
would.
honestly think it's a characteristic that if salespeople miss,
Mm,
they're missing a bigger, brighter world for their customers. Because as a customer, you want to be the hero,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like
of course
every customer, I believe, wants to be the Luke Skywalker in their corporation,
they have to.
right? It's imperative. And if you think about it, and I know it's a, I'm one of those geeks, Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and all that. So, but if you look at it, Yoda 5 times as powerful, right? But Yoda didn't come out and say, "Okay, do this, this, and this." He says, "Here's how you got to think about it. Here's what the challenge you got to overcome. Here's what you got to do." And he's allowing Luke to become the hero.
Yeah,
And I think that hero's journey that is
yes,
taken is a big journey that we as salespeople really need to pay attention to. As a
agreed.
professional sales rep, as one that is there to drive our customers' goals to the finish line, to help our customers stand on the top of Everest and go, "I did it."
Yeah,
Not Dan did it, not DJ did it, not
yeah,
Ryan did it, not Jeff
yeah,
did it, not Gary did it. I did it.
yeah.
And not Brian did it. It's that standing on the mountain. And I believe all it takes is a little bit of thinking and saying, okay, so how do I phrase this? How do I word it? How do I help the customer be the hero? And I've often said, what do you think of this, this, and this? And the customer would be, I love this. Great idea. That's it.
I,
And that plants, and I'm not, and by all means, if there's customers listening, I'm not trying to do this psychology shit. The reality is,
yeah.
this is your
This is
game.
yeah, it's their
This
career.
is,
It's their
yeah,
it's their life on the line
yeah.
in the end.
This is
When
your
you think
mountain
about
to
it. I
climb.
mean, Greg said it. You could see the stress in his face when he was on our marathon. I mean, these guys are going through torture right
They're
now,
going through hell right now.
and
And
so
how
anything
can
we could
you
do to
put a
help
blanket
is what we're
of
supposed to
ice
do.
underneath them,
Yeah,
cool them
yeah,
down?
yeah. Yes,
Oh, that was a
sir.
good analogy. How are
That
you
was
going to keep ice hot in a volcano? I don't know. Or ice cold in a volcano? I don't know.
yeah.
Interesting. All right,
Ah,
DJ,
it's so
bring us
good.
out of here with a quote, brother, because we're
Yes,
32
sir.
minutes
I
in.
got
Y'all want to get back to your Friday. Y'all want to go. Thank you for all the comments and everything. And, do the subscription stuff. Follow DJ and I because we're streaming it to
yes,
both our channels.
please.
You're still streaming all these to your channels, right, DJ?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. So
all
we're still
going.
streaming it to both our channels. Follow us. Let's get her going. What's the quote today,
Quote
DJ?
today. This is a good one. I love this one. Again, it kind of goes with my big win from Wednesday. God never gives you a dream that matches your budget. He's not checking your bank account. He's checking your faith.
Before we go, Jeff just posted something really cool. He says, "My
Gotta
biggest
believe, guys.
success is when I mentored and coached subordinates and see where they ended up. Helping others to meet their goals and objectives is one of the greatest wins you can achieve." Jeff, you are
Yes,
so right.
yes.
Have a great weekend too, Gary.
Have a good
When we
weekend.
love that quote, Ryan loves that quote. When we help other people achieve
Oh yeah.
goals,
There's
like,
no
and
better
here's the thing.
reward than it.
The
There's not.
reality is
To
you're
me, there's not.
always going to do more for other people than you do for yourself.
Yeah.
You will always go the extra
You're
mile for other
you're
people
always
as
going to get the
opposed to
greatest
yourself.
reward from doing it for others
Mhm.
than doing it for yourself too.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's
how many
true.
times have you gone, um, like, I mean, oh God, like, oh, above
Yeah.
and beyond, right? Gary says,
Yeah.
"Wow, I love that DJ." Yeah.
Hey.
What a great quote. What a great quote.
That's
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Remember, go out there, make every call educational, crush your sales, and you're
that's
only
right.
one applied idea away
Woo!
from everything you've ever wanted in life. All right. Have a good one. And this is where we got to sit here for like 10
Yeah,
seconds
we're
and not talk because y'all scream seems to get cut off.